The path to improvement is rarely a straight line. A lot of the time there's some ups and downs, and generally for every 2 or 3 steps you take forward, you have to take a step back and work on some things that maybe used to be fine and are becoming an issue, or some things that you didn't realize were an issue until now. Sometimes it just is time to reset a little bit, and just life happens. You have to make adjustments as you go. And honestly, anybody could do this if it was easy the whole time. You could say that with anything. You could say that with any passion, with any pursuit. If it's easy the entire time, then there's nothing great about it, because the struggle produces the feelings of that accomplishment at the end. And on this particular day, I was having a couple of issues, and so it's one of those things where I'll look back at this session as one of the times where it was difficult but worth it, because those are the sessions that you get the most out of. And I've talked about this before. I've talked about how what we esteem too easily, or what we achieve too easily, we esteem too lightly. And sometimes you have to grind through a little bit and not have everything come easily the first time to really appreciate it. I was having some knee issues today on my squats. My right knee, you can see it on my walkouts and walking the weight back in. It's really just been bugging me. I don't think it's actually a ligament issue. I think there's some soft tissue leading into it through my adductor, some area in the gracilis, part of the lower part of my quad. I've just been having a couple issues with some of that soft tissue, and it was just making me really hesitant and tentative on my walkouts. And then when I got set, obviously even the walkout was rough, and so I don't know, I think I was just not as aggressive on my squats as you really need to be able to perform them right. Fortunately, I was able to get this top set done, this 615 double. Technically it's a PR, it's the most that I've doubled in the garage, and it's more weight than I lifted going into my last meet at any point in time, and it is actually, I think, the 3rd heaviest weight that I've ever squatted without knee wraps. So all in all, just happy to get through it, especially considering the circumstances. I don't want to make excuses, but if I can do that with my knee bugging me and making me super nervous on the walkout itself, imagine what I could do once I get that figured out and everything's flowing a little better. I will say, good news is that my knee has been bugging me less ever since this session. So maybe I did some stuff the right way, kind of the same way that my deadlifts went last week, where my back was kind of feeling weird until I actually finished up and it almost fixed itself, which isn't something I think you can always rely on, but sometimes movement and mobility encourages healing, so who knows? Certainly not me, not all the time anyway. I try my best to figure things out. After the squats, you're going to see I finish up here with, I drop down to 80% for a couple of sets of 4 after my main work, just to get the volume up, because doubles tend to be a pretty low volume week for me unless I do more back off work. So adding in 8 reps here, I think really padded the volume total to make it a little less dramatic than dropping from 5s to 3s to doubles, especially when I have my 3-set structure. So here you're seeing the last set of 4 at 525. Nothing really to phone home about. It just, doing work sometimes, and it's not always the most fun. Afterwards, I did do my front squats. I think that was a big factor in helping the knees kind of feel a little better. And after that, I had my benching. I will say that it did not go super awesome, amazingly well. I've had some pretty high expectations. I've been pushing the progression pretty hard on the bench pressing these last few weeks with that very aggressive mentality on the press, and I just don't think that I did enough last week to really cause enough of an adaptation for a whole lot of improvement. And like I was saying earlier, some days it's just tough. Some days, there isn't really a reason. You could do everything right and it still doesn't feel the best. Some days the weight just feels heavier, and knowing me and most people, there usually is a reason, because doing everything right all the time is very unlikely. So I'm honestly excited that there's other things I can fix and things that I can improve to be better prepared for next time. But the situation we have is what we do, and there it is. So I hit a 365 here, moved up my final set, 385. Technically this is 5 pounds more than I got cleanly last week. I'm still not super pleased with it. It was a little bit uneven, and there was still a little bit more movement. I was able to keep my butt down this time, but barely so. I definitely think I can make it a little more convincing and do that with a little less leg drive if I was just in a better spot in this session. The real issue came afterwards. I was doing my back off doubles, and for some reason I just didn't feel like I really had much today. I had to change the weight quite a few times. I did a few doubles at 355. That was getting rough. I was starting to get sloppy, so I went down to 350. Those started getting rough and sloppy, and so eventually I think I did a single at 355 and was so frustrated with that I can't just do singles at this weight. I did a whole bunch of work at this 350 range. I did the single at 355, and then I dropped down to 345 for 2 doubles, and then I worked down even further. I went down to 335 for 4 doubles before finishing out. So yeah, you can check out the workout right there if you want to see all the details of how those sets went. Afterwards, I did some dips and some ab wheel rollouts to kind of fix a few of the things that I felt in the session were lagging that I could really do much about. Just need to rest up really hard for this next workout, get some good food in me. My nutrition, again, hasn't been awesome, and this weekend was super busy, so there's probably part of the reason right there. But you know, every once in a while you need one of these sessions to give you a kick in the pants and remind you that there's a lot more to be done, and you are so far from the end of the journey. But that's exciting. That's what keeps you moving forward, and that's what makes it enjoyable. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like rating, share it with your friends, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you didn't like it, maybe you could leave a like rating anyway, because maybe you're a nice person and think I'm a nice person too. Who knows? Other than that, I will see you on Thursday with some deadlifts. Good night. Bye.